Hello, YouTubers. Welcome to Chapter 16. This is Unit 4. We're more than halfway done now, so this is kind of nice. Um, we're going to look at 4 different vocabulary words tonight that will help you understand kind of the impact that the Europeans had on global exploration and the discovery of the New World, the Old World being Europe, because that's the world that they knew. So we'll look at 4 words today. We'll look at Potosi, Vasco da Gama. We'll look at Christopher Columbus and Ferdinand Magellan. I know at least most of you should know Christopher Columbus. We do have a national holiday named after this guy, so we'll take a look at him in depth as we move forward. First of all, let's start with Potosi. So Potosi is a silver mine which is in modern-day Peru, which the Spaniards used to gain wealth. And this silver mine was extremely important to the Spanish Empire because it provided Spain with much needed material wealth, which they could then use to further trade with the East. Because their expeditions to the Americas did not end in Asia, which is where they wanted to get goods from, they were at least satisfied with the fact that they had discovered this whole new world, which they called it, which was obviously not new. It had been around just as long as the old world, but it was new to them. And they were able to use the wealth in silver to further advance their political ambitions and definitely their economic ambitions as well. So they became extremely wealthy because of this silver mine and because of other things that they had found as well. So this is my little picture of Potosi. Potosi shows down there working in the mines is a native laborer, and they were worked oftentimes to death, and the riches and wealth from Potosi went to Spain. I hope you appreciate I had to do all this backwards because the film goes backwards. All right, let's take a look at the next word. The next word is the next word is Vasco da Gama. Vasco da Gama was a Portuguese sailor who was the first Portuguese sailor to make it all the way to India, which was the goal for the Europeans, was to bypass that. This is the significance as well. They were able to bypass that Middle Eastern route over land and take a sea route to Asia in order to further trade with the spices. So here is Vasco da Gama on a ship making his way from Portugal all the way around Africa to the Indies, where the Portuguese were able to form a pretty massive and lucrative trading empire shortly after the voyages of Christopher Columbus. So let's take a look at right around the same time as the voyages of Christopher Columbus. So let's take a look at Christopher Columbus. Christopher Columbus was an Italian sailor who was able to convince the Spanish king and queen to finance his expeditions to what he was hoping was going to be the Spice Islands in the Indies, and what ended up being the Americas. So Christopher Columbus, a lot can be said about his voyage and his significance. Probably the greatest significance that Christopher Columbus had was that he opened up this brand new trade network and network of exchange where the Americas were no longer isolated and were opened up to outside influences. And as a result, the original inhabitants of the Americas were largely destroyed. The lands were largely claimed by these European powers, largely Spain, and the empires of the Europeans grew tremendously because of this. So there's Christopher Columbus, and he's meeting these Native American tribes and saying, "Oh, you must be Indian," which was obviously his mistake, and that one doesn't have another arm, so I apologize for that. All right, The last word that we're going to look at today is another explorer. We see a theme here: explorers and exploration and new outreach into the global world. And the last one is Magellan. And this is probably my lamest drawing, but Magellan was a Spanish explorer who was the first to circumnavigate or sail completely around the world. Um, and the interesting thing is he didn't actually make it around the world. It was about a 3-year trip, and he died after making it to the Philippines. So you could do a lot with the drawing there if you want to. So mine was just to draw Magellan sailing around the world. You can tell I got a little bit lazy, and that says right up there that's Spain, and Magellan is sailing all the way around the world here. So Magellan navigating the globe kind of proved that it could be done, and many scholars at the time believed that it could, but he was the first one to actually do it. And it was a difficult time, obviously. He died during this time, so it wasn't all that easy. So those are your exploration terms, kind of your introduction to Europeans beginning to dominate world trade for the time because of their voyages of discovery and the ability to control these massive trade routes. Be awesome.